Whew. Greetings and aloha, everyone. Jonathan here, coming to you from the beautiful Rocky Mountain state of Colorado. And right now I'm here in Boulder, just right up the mountain into the beautiful Rockies. And it's been an epic journey the last couple weeks being here back on the mainland. Originally I came out here on what I like to call a mission trip. One of my clients called me to be in their house for 10 days. And it was a very transformative, deep process that we went through, and felt so good to be able to be available to travel and to be able to travel during the pandemic and everything that's happening in our world, in order to do the good work that God has called me here to do. And so the adventure continues in terms of the work I'm doing with individuals. I took a hiatus from doing a lot of social media for the last few months during the pandemic. It was really a challenging time for me to see the narrative that was being imposed by the mainstream media. And while I'm now realizing that it's so important for us light workers to step up and to be putting good news and good vibrations into the interwebs, at the time I was feeling really just overwhelmed at the intensity of my own beliefs about my own research and what I think is true, and the polarity to that which others feel so strongly and are right in their own understanding of what their own truth is. And so at that time I just said, okay, it's time to really dive in and listen to my own soul connection to the earth, to my spirit. And I went in and I was guided along a really beautiful journey of synchronicities, always hearing the call, always edging in to the call, to deepening my commitment and my ability to create according to where the universe is guiding me, and taking bold steps and big leaps into the process of creation. Redefining new business models, creating new companies, pursuing big visions per usual. I've teamed up with a new business partner, Claudio Fassi. He is a brilliant entrepreneur and biologist who has been studying different types of dietary supplements, superfoods, and we've teamed up together to bring to fruition Transcend Alchemy, a company that's focusing on targeting advanced technologies to help our bodies thrive. And really excited about that. Also pursuing the vision of Evercast.life, which is a project that has been a big calling of mine for about a year now, and have been slowly and steadily putting more energy into birthing this new beautiful interactive video platform designed to preserve human wisdom for future generations. And both of these platforms were something that really required me to sit down and really lock into the work that needs to be done, and every day I invest my time and energy into that. But this trip opened up a new opportunity for me to reconnect with the adventurer inside of myself. If you know me, you know that I've been a digital nomad for the last 5 years, traveling the world, hosting retreats and workshops, and helping people tap into that source of inspiration that creates new timelines and designs and creates new futures. And so coming and traveling now in this new chapter, I was called to come here to Colorado after my service work with my clients. I was called here by two of my friends, Robin Bloom. He's a dear friend and co-producer of Solar Sound, the electronic music production immersion for men that we hosted earlier this year. He said, hey, there's an ayahuasca ceremony happening this weekend here in Colorado. If it ends up that you can be out here, let me know, and I was like, oh, that would be cool. It's been a while since I've sat with the grandmother medicine, and I accepted the invitation to the WhatsApp group to just see who was in there, and I realized that one of the facilitators is the executive director of a nonprofit organization, Sophia, who is the director of Weaving Wisdom and Gaia Union, two organizations that my nonprofit, the Everyday Hero Project, has become the fiscal sponsor for. So we have given them the ability to become a nonprofit organization with our nonprofit. And so we've been working together for months. And so it was a beautiful synchronicity. And I was like, well, wait a second, we've been working together for months, but I've never actually met her in person. And so I was like, all right, that's a sign from the universe if I've ever heard one. So I hopped on a plane and came out. We met and drove deep into the desert of the high plains here in Colorado. And oh my God, it was so beautiful to just get out into the middle of nowhere after being on an island for the last few months. And so yeah, we were deep out in the nature and got to sit with the grandmother medicine and had some really beautiful activations and awakening moments. One in particular, when you sit with the medicine, it really opens up your heart in a sense that so much energy is pulsating through your body, as it always is, but you can just sense into it more, and just feeling that cosmic love that the universe is birthing into us in every moment, and feeling that, and then at one point having to purge. I walked deep into the desert by myself, and I just went and I purged, and it's part of the process of ayahuasca, and had very powerful visions. And I was out there listening and calling in my higher self, saying, I'm ready, I'm listening. And then I was, walking in the darkness. It was complete pitch black, no moon, and the stars were out. It was absolutely beautiful. You could see the Milky Way, and the night of the desert blended into the night of the sky, and there was no defining line between the two. And with the medicine, it kind of blurs your vision, but you can actually see so much more. You can see the field of energy, you can see the plasma field, you can see the Akashic field. And so I was walking in this field of connection between the stars and the earth, and at one point I remember laughing because it looked like it was so far away, yet when I was sitting with my eyes closed, I was literally in it. And it was just such a funny thing to notice that I was laughing at. And the next morning I was sitting in meditation, had not slept yet, and I was deep in this meditation, and I was remembering that moment when I was walking out in the field, and I just remember witnessing. I opened up my hands and I imagined seeing the universe, the Milky Way galaxy in my hands, and it was spinning there. And I remember zooming into it, zooming in, seeing myself in the solar system, and zooming into the earth, and then seeing myself there. And remember seeing myself in my higher dimensional self, dropping down these little codes of information to myself, to my body, and I was dropping these down. It was like I was able to unlock new timelines for my future, and it was this beautiful moment where I started to physically receive the biological upgrades of this download from this higher version of myself, which was me consciously sitting in meditation. And recently had been watching this movie. It's called Hacking Reality. I encourage you to watch it. And it talks about this eighth dimensional crystal that mathematicians and physicists have discovered, and how this crystal is a reflection of a higher degree crystal, in the sense that, like, this three-dimensional object, if you had the sun blaring, it would beam a shadow, and that shadow is a two-dimensional object. This is a three-dimensional object, and so above that there's higher dimensions of reflection, or of shadow, almost, if you will, what they call a quasi crystal. And so suddenly I was like, well, wait a second, if I'm sending this information down to myself and my body right now, and actually feeling it physically in my body, then who am I? And I look up, suddenly I realize I'm in this circle of higher dimensional beings with these beautiful avatar, long elongated faces, and they were all sitting there, and we were all looking at me, and I received all their information, and it was as if each one of them was a different spectrum of light, or of identity, of a different archetype, and they all were a different reflection or refraction of light that came from this one source of white light that came down. And it was as if it was this cosmic theatrical play of different archetypes all looking down into this beautiful universe that we live in. And so that was a big aha moment, like I am my higher self, and I have the ability to not only tap into that higher self, but to send information. I can play and create from my higher self, sending information into my three-dimensional self. And whereas, you know, in the past I would do a lot of meditation, tuning into my higher self and receive information from that higher self, and I was always embodied in that kind of connection of, you know, looking up to it and receiving from it. Now I was actually embodied in that higher self, looking down, sending information down, and now leveling up my awareness of, you know, different expressions of vibrational possibility of awareness. And when we are aware of something, we now become, you know, now it becomes real in our own awareness, in our own consciousness, in our own mind. So I wanted to share that little tidbit. That was a really beautiful, just a moment of revelation and gratitude, feeling more embodied in my higher self, even in this present moment. So yeah, just wanted to share a little video, some insights from here, this beautiful mountain. We drove up into the mountains yesterday, up to Breckenridge, and got to see one of those dream spots that hopefully one day I'll get to come up here and snowboard and spend a season in the mountains. But for now, it's fall. We got to see the aspen trees changing all over the mountains. Not sure if you can see any here really, but they're out there and it's beautiful. Also standing on this mountain, it's rich with gold and precious metals. I'm looking right now, I can see a mine on the a cave that was dug for mining, and all over this mountain there's different caves, and even one by the house I'm staying at right now, staying here with the Light Leadership organization. They've been very just impactful to my own journey. They hosted a retreat in Costa Rica earlier this year after Envision Music Festival, and invited me as their guest to come to their retreat. It was a beautiful 7-day, or was it 10-day? It was a full week immersion, and all talking about just what is emerging and tuning into the emergent field. And it was a really inspiring gathering where there was no structure, there was no expectations. It was just show up, eat breakfast, and then come to the circle and let's see what emerges. And I look at the time, it's 1, 2, 3, 4. At that moment, that was great. Just aligning with time, and now here I am realigning with this community and feeling extremely grateful to witness and feel the own transformation that I've had in myself since then. And that was literally at the beginning of the pandemic when the whole thing broke out online, and right as the story was breaking out, here I am traveling internationally and thinking, oh no, I'm definitely going to get COVID, and still have not, and have gotten tested, and so it's just, wow, what a ride. And yeah, definitely feeling, inspired to continue sharing videos and insights and transmissions, feeling more and more called to that. I was feeling that during the Aya journey, and feeling the reactivation, the rewielding of my cellular message, the message that wants to come through. I think it's important for all of us to share our voices and to share our insights and our own learning and growing journey, so that those who are, maybe along the ride with us, or maybe possibly people who are, even in generations to come, will one day want to sense in and feel into, my insight when I was 34 years old. And so hoping that Evercast also provides a platform for that, and for me. Maybe I need to develop a video platform so that I can share more of my own wisdom. It'll be a good excuse. So yeah, super grateful to share this insight with you, and just to be on this journey of life, and always leaning into that edge, the edge of, where can I let go of the old story? Where do I need to sit and take time to focus on my own personal growth, and rather than just, passively thinking about it, really step into the reflection of it. And I'll leave it with this. I was talking with Paul Cooper, the founder of the Light Leadership Group, and he took a moment to have a call with me and a friend who is struggling with addiction, and we had this phone call, and he was saying that in some practices, especially in Buddhism, there is a beautiful process of when you get to a point where you feel discomfort, or like maybe you're struggling with a challenge and you keep reliving that challenge, you keep reliving the struggle of that. He says that instead of like running away from it towards a solution, rather sit with that and focus into that challenge for a time, and just like really focus into it and think about it, and think about how it made you feel, and feel about how it made you feel. Really feel into the emotional state, the challenge, the struggle, the depression, the sadness, the angst, the human experience of being pissed off, whatever it may be, and just like sense into that, feel into it, sit with it, and then remind yourself why you don't want to do that again, and then spend some time with that and really activate that inside of yourself so that you feel that anger, that frustration, that desire to change, and really anchor that feeling in, not so that you manifest more of it, but rather so that you become really hyper aware of what it is that you don't want to experience. And so I've been playing with that as well, just really focusing in, and it's been hard being out here in this beautiful nature and trying to focus on projects when all I want to do is reside and relax into the present moment, and sink into the castle that they have up here, and just revel in the beauty of community, something I so deeply desire and so cherish and love and celebrate. After our ayahuasca ceremonies here, we had a couple jam sessions with different groups, and if you knew me, you would know that one of my favorite things in the world are jam sessions, especially with amazing musicians, because they hold that vibratory field, and then I get to come in with my creative expression of voice and freestyle and singing and expression, and so it was really nice to have a couple really great jam session vibes with a few different groups, and in each one be able to step fully into that expression of self, that expression of song and freestyle. And so hoping to freestyle with you sometime soon, wherever you may be in the world. Sending you so much love and just blessings for you on your journey, on your path. Feel free to reach out to me for any reason, and super excited to just share this video with you all. So sending you so much love from here, the beautiful Rocky Mountains of Boulder, Colorado. I'm gonna show you guys. I don't know if you can see it. I think it's right there. Right there is a little cave up there. I don't know if you can zoom here. And just hiked up here. We're staying down there and just taking a moment to rewild and reconnect with nature. Peace.